And they will be your undoing.
Oh god, besides. Oh, I thought that was in her cards. Well, that one's in her cards, dude. Yeah, we did it. Da-da-da. Okay, I learned. Ooh, Sir Tom.
Must you interfere?
I am.
You've got to protect her memories. Hurry!
What if I don't want to?
You would defy us.
Delicious, aren't they?
Okay, I know where it's at, dude. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Oops.
I told you it would make a great necklace.
Just in time. Just in time, dude.
I think it'll really...
Oh my god, they're stacking on top of each other.
You should have it.
They shatter. They fade.
So, I'll fix it.
Is this ice? Where did this come from?
If this goes on much longer, she'll forget everything.
Treasured memory.
Tire of your insolence.
Must not be that treasured.
This one.
That's my color. Now, this one on the other hand. What am I doing with this? I'd never wear this color.
No! We can't let this happen!
You are unworthy of our utopia. We shall bring eternal harmony. Tranquility and vitality in perfect balance. Why would you not disappear? No! Our utopia cannot fall!
There we go. You're welcome.
Memories of ice. Be gone.
People almost fucking died there. Ba, 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 ba. Oh boy.
Memories of Earth.
I got nothing. Good luck. Yo, what's up, brother? Yeah, how you been? I'm doing fucking normal raids because I got locked out of the MSQ at like 87 or something. I did trials and I'm doing this. That should put me over then.
Now your memories belong to us.
I hate fucking the range there. Yeah, I was surprised to hit it, to be honest. I haven't done any quests at all. Like no fucking Aethernet quests, no, or not Aethernet, the what it's called, Aether Current quest. There you go. That shit.
Memories of ice.
Yeah, we gotta do. Let's go. I should just use the thing as well. Hey, people got the loot. Ooh, good shit. Okay, I need to do something because shit was fucking. Alright. Okay. Sick. It's fucking weird. So we fix that. Yeah, I hit the level thing there. Okay. Good for me. Sick. Yeah. Now. Yeah, I recommend not watching unless you want spoilers, by the way, Reggie. Because I'm in it deep, dude. Ugh. I'm in it kind of deep. Travelers at the crossroads. Where to now? If there's anywhere you would like to visit before we leave, I should be glad to show you the way. Remember, this never yet outright refused his position with the convocation. Merely postponed the decision. Yeah. Oh yeah, brother. Yeah. Anytime. After I'm done, I think I'm gonna try and beat the story today, but after I'm done, I'll message you, hit you up, see what you do. Hey, bro. Have a good one. Have a good one, my man. See you. Okay. There we go. Such may as well resume my assessment. If we cannot accompany him, then I will content myself with questioning his colleagues. Ever the pragmatist, allow me to retain your humble guide. What of you, Zoe? Will you continue along with us? Wonderful. Our fellowship travels on unbroken. I say we explore another part of Elpis, see what new encounters there are to be had. If you would follow me, we'll head back towards Anagorsis. I'll just TP there. I'll just TP there. Good fuck. Oops. All right, Athledeus, what you doing? From here, we follow the path northwards to Notinius, Petonius. We will find one of the teleporters which facilitate travel between the islands of Elpis. First-time travelers must be accompanied by someone with the requisite permission, which I have previously been granted. We only need to use the device together once, and henceforth you will have leave to use it freely. Shall we? Oh yeah, this is the one that we're like, what the hell is this? It's a TP. Got you. It's Skyvenate, right? What the fuck was I stuck on, dude? Hello? Or we are. Tonius. The teleporter will take us to Camillier. God damn it. Kalimelios Zephyros, the Western Island. That's it right there, looming large over us. Up this way, we can soon admire the view from above. Fuck. Why you gotta give me some weird ass names instead of voice acting the shit? Do we not get paid for this?
I present to you Kalimelios Zephyros.
I was right. Nice.
Here you will find a number of testing facilities, as well as the observation hub of Poitin Oikos.
Poitin Oikos. That's a fake fucking.
Right then. Let's begin by.
It's a Spriggan.
Well, an Arraius. How delightful.
It's not Reyes, it's a Spriggan. The fuck? What you got there, buddy? It's crystal meth? Okay. Oh, shit.
And what, pray tell, is that?
I think it's a shark.
Ah, that's a new species of shark.
Oh,
We approved the concept but a few days ago. Sharks are among the most popular sea creatures. Rare is the day when someone does not submit a new concept. At first, they were largely orthodox, consideration given to such things as size and environmental impact, and then a whimsical someone thought to bestow it with flight, another superior intelligence. And then the floodgates burst, concepts with multiple heads, or arms and legs, and so on and so forth. It was getting absurd. A part of me wanted to tell them to go away and find something else to create, but in the end, I couldn't deny their passion. And here we are.
the Deus is like, it's nothing happening. Wow. Nope, you killed it, I think. The cool sword you got there. It's fucking Heidelin. God damn it.
That was too close. Are you unharmed?
Yes, Venat, or whatever the hell your name
Well
is now.
If it isn't a pair of familiar faces.
Venat, that we should
Venat.
meet you here.
Yeah, kind of familiar, aren't you?
As I mentioned earlier, the better part of the convocation holds that when we retire is when we return to the star. Well, she is not among said majority. Even after stepping down, she carries on with her work. Venat is her name, and she is the previous Azem.
Interesting.
It has been a while, Hythlodaeus. You look well. Less so, Emmet Selk. I dare say the lines upon your brow have both deepened and doubled in number.
Got him.
A shame for one so young. You must make an effort to frown less often.
Easier said than done, thanks to your unruly successor.
How is he, if I may ask?
Incorrigible as ever. Rushed headlong into a volcano on the brink of eruption just the other day. I should be
What a
glad to
chap.
share the tale in its entirety later, if you're so inclined.
Oh, you know I am. Now then, you are?
Nunion rings. Get the fuck away from me. Catch these hands. Ain't a god yet.
I say, have you perchance come from the future?
That's not funny. There's a fourth wall here? Respect it.
I do not believe we have ever met, yet I sense my magic upon you. Therefore, if I wove the enchantment, I could only have done so at a later point in time.
What manner of magic is this, if I may ask?
A blessing.
A traveler's ward, of course. It prevents the corruption of one's ether.
That too. Oh, that sounds like the blessing of light. What?
I see you are not ignorant to its presence. And while there are many protective spells, the one you bear is unmistakably mine.
Hold on. From the future? That's absurd.
What is it? Are you unable to speak of the matter?
Yeah. It kind of makes me unalive if I do.
The reality to which you must return exists as a result of the final days. You cannot reshape the past to undo the tragedies of the present.
So, your actions here will not change your history, but they may yet affect the course of ours. How very exciting! I'm quite fond of delving into the unknown, and there's naught more unknown than the future. Until a moment finally arrives, we cannot know for certain what will come to pass, regardless of our supposed foreknowledge, so you needn't worry for us. More importantly, that you should go to such great lengths as to travel unto the past bespeaks the gravity of your quest.
Yeah, it's a little big.
Will you not reveal it to us? Mayhap we can be of aid to your cause.
Well, you see, you guys kind of go extinct. Also, you're a god. This guy's always mauled.
If this is true, then you've been keeping quite the secret to yourself.
Are you mad?
As a representative of the Convocation, I will hear it all. Your identity, purpose, everything.
Or nah.
Why don't we move to a place more conducive to calm conversation? I've been working here for some days now at an old friend's behest. If it is agreeable, we may make use of my accommodation at Poiton Oikos.
Poiton Oikos.
We were meant to meet. I am certain of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's now, though.
Else I wouldn't have marked you so clearly, and sent you unto myself in the past.
You didn't do it.
It's precisely the sort of mischief I would get up to. And quite inspired, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it wasn't you. It was a little bit. A little bit. A little bit do be up to a little bit of mischief. Alright. My apologies. Before we move along, a colleague has tasked me with a matter which I'd rather not leave unresolved. It involves finding a certain concept-engraved crystal. The quick-fingered Aureas which made off with it. An Aureas, you say? I think we might have seen the culprit before being distracted by the business with the shark. Would you like us to follow the ethereal trail? That would, of course, lead us only to the Aureus. There is no guarantee that it hasn't dropped or stashed away the crystal you seek. Please, even that much would be enormously helpful. While you are hunting down the thief, I can follow behind and scour the forest just in case. If I asked you to join the search, I'd appreciate another pair of eyes cover the land to the west of here. Hey, thanks. There's a small bridge leading to Point in Oikos. Let's meet there. Let's meet up there once we've exhausted our efforts. Alright, I got a thing to find. There it is. We found it. Ba. This little dude. There he goes, dude. Actually, that's someone's mount. Okay. Found the crystal. Hello. Alas, searcher returns. I'm afraid the Aureus no longer had the crystal, or was able to find it as I followed in its wake. I don't suppose you fared any better. Actually, I found the crack rock. The crystal. Well done. Wonderful. Now I can focus on your tale without that missing concept nagging at my mind. Have you always had a knack for finding things? Yeah, I've often been asked to do so. Find a way for this, stop calamity that. Oh, you too. Some of us seem destined to always be searching for ourselves and for others. Long ago, when I held the seat of Zim, I was forever trekking back and forth across the star in search of answers to people's problems. Naturally, the need for such journeys has lessened considerably since I entrusted the position to my whimsical successor. Yet I am still eager to come running should an old acquaintance or a new interest require my personal attention. That is what brings me to Elpis, in fact. Many times has my presence been requested, my opinion sought concerning the habitat of this or of the creations. Agreeing to help locate the missing crystal was a minor distraction, which now promises to become a major revelation. How strange how strange and wonderful it is. The way one thing leads to another, wouldn't you agree? The past not yet to come. Thank you again for your timely help. Now then, this time I return this stolen property. If you would go ahead my accommodation, I will join you as soon as I attended to the task. Follow the path straight ahead to the building to the top of the slope. I have the entire place to myself, so we can speak without fear of being disturbed or overheard. Am I actually going to spill the beans, dude? Wait in Orcus. Welcome to my temporary abode. Let's make yourself at home while I put on some tea. Voice acting.
A wonderful aroma.
Nice.
I feel more relaxed already.
Nice.
Would that I had sweetmeats to offer, but I travel light out of habit. There's plenty of hot water though, so please have as much tea as you like. Now then, will you tell us your tale?
A calamity called the final days has befallen the world.
Why don't you start from the beginning?
I'll start with some Ascian fucks. Oh, we are telling them everything. Okay.
Preposterous. Utterly preposterous.
While not the words I would have chosen, I too have my doubts. Much of it borders on the incredulous. What of you, Venat?
What do you know?
Not knowing the precise details of the fast final days, it is difficult to determine the veracity of the tale. Supposing it is all true, I must ask myself why I would do what I did. Why would I feel I had no recourse but to oppose the 14 and create this Heidelin? Circumstances change, of course, but it would not have been an easy decision regardless. No, there must have been a reason. One compelling enough to force me to take such drastic measures. Then there is the Elpis flower, which I said would serve as a guide. That it's of import to your mission is plain, but your presence here leads me to believe that this place also holds significance. But what could it be? What are we meant to accomplish?
Might it not be simply thus? In the future whence he came, the final days could not be averted. Mankind has no choice but to flee the star. By alerting us to that eventuality, perhaps you wish to pave the way for other futures.
Theoretically speaking, it is a possibility. Yet if that were my primary objective, I see no reason to guide our friend to Elpis specifically. The capital and Amarot, or even my own home would be more logical destinations.
Again, you didn't specifically guide me here.
True. I note also that Hydaelyn did not specify a point in time to which he must return. By this, it may be inferred that it was not critical that we should meet.
Alternately, she had reason to believe that our paths would converge, coincidental though it may seem.
This is quite a puzzle, and we do not have all the pieces.
Hardly any, but we do have one immutable fact. If the final days are indeed as described, they will bring death to all that I hold dear. Yet despite being afforded long years of preparation, the only provisions I could make were for flight. Nay, my first and foremost endeavor would be to find a way to forestall the coming doom.
Given that even the 14 failed, mayhap you deemed it impossible.
Nothing is impossible. This I have always believed. And if Hydaelyn is indeed me, she would believe the same.
Listen to yourself. Are you seriously entertaining the notion that you are a messianic figure in some far-fetched tale?
Don't worry, it's okay. You got beat.
Well,
It's
I will
understandable.
not. I refuse to accept that our world could be undone by some unforeseen calamity. I also take offense to my portrayal as a megalomaniacal madman. To sacrifice oneself for the star is a noble act, and I would hold those who gave themselves to this zodiac in the highest esteem.
You do?
Yet, you claim I recreated Amarot and populated it with phantoms of our people? A bizarre indulgence that would be insulting to their memory.
Solitude do get kind of fucked up.
Worse still, I even invited you there. Literally invited my own downfall. Why would I do something so idiotic and inexplicable?
Thought you could beat us, that's why. Or you knew you couldn't.
Now, I will allow that the hypothetical task of restoring our world would be daunting in the extreme. The thought of having to bear such a burden for 1,000 lives horrifies me. But I would never forsake my duty. I would never forsake my brethren. You do not know me. I've had my fill of your fiction. I will return to my duty, and you will not bother me again.
See you in 1,000 years, buddy.
Any
Bye.
joke? Wait!
You've seen much of Elpis already. If you have any observations to share, I should like to hear them.
I can tell you that Van Daniel knows more about all this shit than putting on. Yeah. Hermes and Minotaur and Remedian are somehow involved.
Hermes and his creation Meteon, you say? If Dynamis is the self-same energy as Akasha, as it likely seems, then those two may well be at the center of the calamity to come. This warrants further investigation.
I agree. It only took an entire
With that
level of quest to get.
Tis time for action. The missing pieces of the puzzle are here, I'm certain of it. And when you find them, the picture my future self has painted will be complete. and you will have your answer. Now suffice it to say, I will aid you in your quest. Have faith. If Emmet Selk is the man Azum described to me, we've not seen the last of him.
Remember, Emmett was not the bad guy. Beware. I began our investigations then. I'm acquainted with Hermes, of course, but only as a visitor received by the chief overseer of Elpis. For the man himself, I know only that which is common knowledge. Thus, I suggest we fall back on the tried and true method of conversing with the locals. The observers who live here can surely tell us more of Hermes and Metian. I have a good idea where we might begin. Did I hit this? Yes, I did. See the woman standing in front of yonder building. Her name is Ismay. Ismene. She is the one who made arrangements for my stay in Elpis. From what I recall, she has held her position here for quite some time. Chances are she can provide us with some insights. Don't ask you questions. I will help with drawing out answers if need be. I'll leave the choice of topic up to you. Questions for me? Well, I suppose I have no other pressing duties at the moment. Following events cannot be skipped. You may wish to cancel. Yeah. So, no, again, asking questions. You got some splaining to do. Greetings, Ismene. My friend here is desperately curious about Chief Hermes, and I was wondering if you might indulge him. Certainly, Mistress Venat. Anything to be of service. What do you wish to know? What kind of person is Hermes? Well, I can only answer from my own experience, but I would describe him as a quiet man, reserved, you might say, and occasionally somewhat poor with his choice of words. His reticent nature, however, does not prevent him from carrying out his duties as chief overseer. Man is a walking archive when it comes to life forms. He can discuss any species in incredible detail, and is a leading authority on concepts, which with the power of flight. Hope that answers your question. Is there anything else? You know of Metian's abilities. It's no secret that she is a highly unusual familiar. Of late, the chief often makes his rounds with her, like a mother hen raising her chick. I understand that she is able to She is able to read emotions and communicate directly with one's mind. Exactly how she was created with that talent, however, is a mystery to me. My apologies. I wish I could explain her nature more in depth, but I've not had occasion to discuss it with Chief Hermes. Do you trust him? Beg your pardon? I've known Chief Hermes for many years. I cannot say we're close. He has never withheld information to the detriment of our duties. Is that what you mean? Forgive us. We seem to have veered slightly off course here. Is there perhaps someone else who could tell us more about Metian? That would be Timaeus. That would be Timaeus. He has a similar expertise with flying concepts, and is more than eager to discuss the subject. You'll find him conducting his observations on the bank of the stream, somewhere to the east. Oh, and unless you take a particular joy in rambling discourse, I suggest you keep your questions concise. Keep that in mind. Thank you for your patience and your insight. Think nothing of it. If there's aught else you need during your stay, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm sorry. We've taken enough of Esmene's time. investigation is off to a fine start when you agree. From here, I propose we split up. I shall continue making inquiries with the resident observers. You could track down the colleague Esmane mentioned. While I did feel compelled to interject once or twice during the previous conversation, you seem more than capable of drawing forth the answers you seek. I'll ask that you watch your footing around the stream. You can be back here once you finish speaking with this. Yes. A fucking minotaur. Found you. Ba-da-ba-ba. Not go to the door. Yes, yes, I'm Timius, but please keep your voice down. Just all the birds. So, what did you wish to speak about? It's true you're an expert on flying creations. Fellow enthusiast, are you? Well, settle in. We can discuss the finer points of this fascinating craft. My deep and abiding love for avian artistry can be traced back to when I was a young boy. Stricken by the transcendent beauty of a glorious golden-feathered creature my father had designed, it was then, there, that I vowed to one day surpass that masterpiece. Miss launches into a rambling and unstoppable discourse. And thus did I secure an observer role here in Elpis, and at last realize my childhood ambition. Here the dreams I once dreamed are an everyday reality, which I find fulfillment in research and creation of flying life forms. An abridged recounting of events, as was doubtless to your disappointment. Is there any specific part you'd like me to expand upon? Nope. You're hoping for my opinion on Chief Hermes' creations? Why don't you just say so? Those being which soar through the clouds, majestic and graceful, are ever a favorite of creators. Even now, with so many varieties in existence, the flood of newly imagined concepts continues unabated. What sets the chiefs apart, however, is how they benefit from his boundless knowledge of the celestial realm. Birds that climb so high, they disappear from view. Others which traverse the boundless sky in moments, and all without riding the currents. I know of none save he who can conceive of such marvels. Even we who prize elegance of form above all else are dumbfounded by his genius. Median too, it's a marvel then. My opinion on the matter would be superficial at best. Despite my admiration for Median as a concept, I have never delved too deeply into the inner workings of her nature. I know that she has a gift for communicating via emotions, but otherwise her abilities are a mystery to me. If Chief Hermes should choose to submit Median's concept to the Bureau of the Architect, then will the design be registered for the public scrutiny? Analyzing a colleague's creation before that step is frowned upon, to say the least. Of course, if he came to me, a fellow artisan, looking for advice, that would be an entirely different story. Do you know of Dynamis and Intellecies? Dynamis and Intellecies? Those terms do sound vaguely familiar. Was that not a flower made in Elpis, which exhibited properties of one or the other? It must have been centuries since I last heard anyone speak of such things. Has there been a resurgence in interest? Why bring up the subject? Glad that you sought my insight, but I cannot afford to neglect my duties for the sake of idle chatter. I must return to my observations. Surely you have your own tasks to attend to. I learned shit. I learned nothing. Boo. Fuck. Love it now. Ah, good timing. I finished my own investigations not long ago. So have you any new findings to share? I see. Even an expert in the field has a little understanding of Medion's capabilities, let alone an awareness of Dynamis. My questions resulted in much of the same answers. Hermes' colleagues view Medion as his personal project and could provide no details beyond those which you just told me. Which leads me to believe the only person with any significant knowledge of Dynamis is Hermes himself. Yes, we've made some progress here, but more information is needed if we are able to reach any definite conclusions. This is where she's like, let's just go talk to Hermes. At present, the strongest link we have to the final days is the power of Dynamis and the intellects which control it. Yet most scholars are only vaguely aware of these terms, let alone study them in any depth except for Hermes, it seems. Thus I'm inclined to stay our current course and learn all we can about the Chief Overseer and his familiar. On that subject, was there aught else of note you can tell me about Medion, aside from her unorthodox method of communication? Yeah, there's more like her. She has sisters. Rather wish you had mentioned that earlier. In the event, would you care to elaborate? These siblings of hers now travel the great expanse in search of deeper meaning? Thank you. Though the mystery at hand remains unsolved, I feel you've touched upon a vital clue, one we should keep in mind as we continue. Next, I propose we take ourselves to Perpetua Crystalline. Not far from here, just follow the path to the west. Oh, west. Oh, I'm fucking stupid. Right there. Oh, I know what way west is. Not. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah. The tower and the one further along are both part of Perpetua Crystalline, the facility where they archive all of Elpis's observational and testing records. Despite how they appear from the outside, the interior is actually a vast area of magically interconnected spaces, which, while fascinating, is not the reason we are here, is it? I shall cut my architectural lesson short and see what those two archivists have to share. If you could find someone to speak with over there at the other tower, I shall join you there anon. You have questions for me? Certainly. Just a moment while I conclude my current appointment. And my tongue is going numb. Indeed. So if you could provide a comprehensive log of those behaviors, we should then have sufficient data for our official records. Now, what is it you wish to speak to me about? Chief Overseer's personal research project. By that I assume you mean Vetian. Such undocumented studies are difficult to track. After all, hardly a day goes past without seeing a researcher trailed by one creation or another. I'm afraid I cannot tell you exactly when Median appeared, only that she now spends much of her time at Chief Hermes' side. Although I do recall an interesting tale my dearest Galeen shared with me. Galeen is my partner, and a fellow researcher here in Elpis. She was returning late one night when she caught sight of Chief Hermes sending Vetian heavensward. A host of them. Several days she would speak of that scene with wonder, describing it as one of the most beautiful spectacles she has ever witnessed. That sounds like a story I should like to hear. Mistress Venat, I thought you had already returned to the surface. Permit me to thank you once again for your invaluable contribution to our concept placement proposal. Afraid you're not mentioned. As you say, my original plan was to leave after that task, but I have since become engrossed with Chief Hermes' research. You favored me with the retelling of this sight, which so delighted your Galeen. Of course, we could hear it from her lips directly if you prefer. At present, she should be observing a subject in Metabasis Dalasi. I don't know. She does enjoy her time there, watching the sea creatures hunt and play, gazing upon the salty waters of the world's oceans, recreated in such sublime detail. I imagine you must find similar joy in indulging your boundless curiosity, Miss Venat. Even though such pursuits must continually and regretfully delay your return to the star. Indeed they do. This rest well deserved and long overdue, I should think. How greatly have we prospered from the wisdom you accumulated during the travels as a Zim. And what would Elpis be without your earlier academic work? Theories you developed served as the basis of many techniques still in use today. Man is a creature of contemplation, but none embody that nature with as much enduring passion as you. I dare say there is not a soul more worthy of a return. I shall rejoice the day you depart on your final journey. I will be honored. I shall take this opportunity to meet with the Galeen in person. Allow me to reconfigure the door to the archives here. I'll take you up to the Skyway and spare you the need to avoid hostile concepts on the ground. That would be most helpful, thank you. Zippity zappity. Open the door. I've opened the path to the Skyway. Once you pass through the door, simply walk straight across to the next tower and ask for admittance to the upper tier. On arriving at the upper tier, walk straight across the Skyway, and you will find yourself at the entrance to Metabasis Dalasi. Galeen will be eager to share her tale with you, I'm sure.